Dear boomers, the problem with communication, in fact, the single biggest problem in communication, is the illusion that it has actually taken place. That is a quote by George Bernard Shaw. And before I go on, in the description below, there is a link to my new community, Dear Boomers Community. I've been talking about it for a while, and I just want you to know that it's up, it's alive, and I will be looking for you so that we can start discussing meaningful things in the membership. So, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. George Bernard Shaw was just amazingly brilliant, and that's so true about communication. It never really takes place in a way that is satisfying many, many times. Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking everything was clear, only to find out later that nothing was understood at all? You're not alone. George Bernard Shaw said this, and in today's world with buzzing texts and tweets and emails and endless yakking dialogue, we're more connected than ever, and yet often more misunderstood. And as a result, more lonely. We feel alienated from people. So let's look at Shaw's quote more deeply. What does it mean to believe communication has happened when in fact it really hasn't? It means that we assume others understand our intent, our meaning, and our emotion without confirming it. Nobody is confirming it, and you just take it for granted that they understood what you said. But it's the difference between talking at someone and truly connecting with them. Now, baby boomers know this very, very well. We've lived through decades of evolution and evolving conversations and communication from rotary phones to video calls, but has our ability to truly listen and be heard improved? I don't know. Let's walk through a real world scenario, shall we? A spouse says, I'm fine, but the truth is that they're hurting. We take their words at face value and miss the pain behind them. And not only that, so often we think that somebody should read our mind instead of actually telling them how you feel. How about the times when a doctor gives a quick diagnosis and the patient nods, but they don't want to seem ignorant, but walks out without understanding a thing? And then health professionals get a little irritated when people do their own research on the internet, which is becoming more and more accurate with AI. A family sends a group text about a holiday gathering. Everyone thinks that they've communicated well, but no one shows up at the right time. These are not failures of language, they're failures of presence, of listening, of confirmation. So, why is this illusion more dangerous now than ever? Because we live in a world of assumptions, often reinforced by technology. We read tone into texts. We interrupt before somebody finishes a sentence. We equate fast replies with deep understanding. And for boomers, especially, navigating modern communication with younger generations who speak in emojis, abbreviations, or silence can feel alienating. So, how do we bridge the gap? By returning to the heart of communication, which is listening. You know, a lot of times true communication is enhanced when you understand what is not said. You intuitively gather the unsaid components of a communication. So listening is not waiting to speak. It's not formulating your reply while the other person talks, but it is about being fully present in body, mind, and spirit, and also reaching out through your heart to bond with that person in an unspoken way. So there's such a thing as reflective listening. Repeat what you have heard to confirm, but don't overdo this because now it's become a cliche in many, many circles. Ask clarifying questions. What did you mean by that? I don't understand. Check emotional cues, tone, facial expression, body language, and silence. And in and of itself is very, very powerful. Sometimes the best communication is patient silence. And boomers and their wisdom have lived through experience, makes you natural bridge builders. Let's reclaim that role as bridge builders in peaceful ways. The Dear Boomer community, which is now open, is at the center of everything we do here. We believe in conversations that matter, that heal, that build, are patient and kind and reflective of what the person has just said. We're here to listen to one another, to challenge assumptions. Assumptions are probably one of the more dangerous ways of communicating, just making assumptions right and left. You're not, when you make assumptions, you're just basically um, going on the old ways of thinking. And we need to break through to the new and the inspiring and transformational ways to communicate and to practice real connection in a world that often slips and skips the depths. Because your voice matters, and so does how it is heard. So we can further discuss this on our community website. And think about this, how many of your recent conversations were true exchanges? And just how many were illusions? Let's change that. Change it. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below. When was a time that you thought communication had taken place, but it really hasn't? People in relationships confront this a challenge in communication all the time. I think it's because people take each other for granted. And it's time to look at your loved ones every day in a new way and do not make assumptions about what they're all about. So we need to realize that all is well and we all have good intent, and to knock out the assumptions. There will be a video that shows up here. Take a look. Please subscribe to the channel and do comment and look at the Dear Boomer community in the description below. Thank you so much.